something in Serbo-Croatian and then I will translate into English, okay?
Ja mislim da sam ovdje najstariji radnik, ja imam 40 godina staža, od tih 40 godina znači imam 20 godina u socijalizmu, u samoupravi i 20 godina u ovome prljavom kapitalizmu.
So she thinks she's the oldest worker here. She has over 40 years of experience. 20 years of that during socialism and self-management, and 20 years in dirty capitalism.
Od tih 40 godina, 10 godina vodim borbu za bolje sutra, za generaciju koja dolazi iza.
And within these 40 years, 10 of them she already spent in a struggle for the coming generations for a better tomorrow.
Sad samo kažem koja je razlika mojih 20 godina u socijalizmu. Imala sam platu, imala sam pravo na zdravstveno, imala sam penziju, radnik je o svemu odlučivao. Višak kapitala bio je za otvaranje novih radnih mjesta. Vrlo malo je bilo nezaposlenih.
So during her 20 years in socialism, all the workers decided about everything. They had their wages, they had their security. All the workers would decide what to do with the surplus.
Radnik u socijalizmu je bio je vrijedan. U kapitalizmu to nije, radnik u kapitalizmu nije vrijedan. Radnici dite, nismo sad poštovani, znači radimo bez plate, bez prava na zdravstveno, viša kapitala, znači kapitalista, poslodavac uzima sebe.
So in socialism, the worker had value, whereas in capitalism he does not anymore. All the surplus that they are making while working without wages, without health insurance, and without pension benefits, all the surplus is going to the capitalist, to the owner.
Znači da me to natjeralo da se borim, da sam vidjela tu razliku i obavezalo me da se borim za to bolje sutra.
And once she realized that disparity between socialism and the present, she decided to go into struggle to fight for the next generations.
Ja sam u fabrici deterđenata Dita bila najmlađi radnik kad sam počela raditi, znači 40 godina sam u fabrici. Moja je fabrika opljačkana kriminalnom privatizacijom od strane države.
So she was the youngest worker when she started working in Dita 40 years ago, and her company Dita was destroyed through criminal privatization run by the state.
Znači, morala se boriti protiv svih državnih institucija, počevši od Agencije za privatizaciju, vlade, premijera, pravosuđa, inspekcija, porezne. Znači, sva moja borba je bila protiv i naravno protiv sindikata koji nikad nije stajao iza radnika.
So she struggled against all the state institutions, the cantonal government, the prime minister, the taxation department, and against the trade union in Dita, because the trade union never stood behind the workers.
Kako sam se borila? Znači, već godinama radnici Dite su bili u štrajku, u protestima, a zadnje, u stvari, prije 3 godine smo krenuli u okupaciju u fabrike.
So how did they struggle? So the workers of Dita are already spending years and years in strikes and protests, whereas 3 years ago they decided to go and occupy the factory.
Dita se nalazi u industrijskoj zoni Tuzle. Sve fabrike oko Dite su fizički uništene, nema ih. Radnici i skupa sa mnom, znači 24 sata smo bili u krugu fabrike i čuvali da je ne bi fizički uništili.
So when they occupied the factory, Dita is located in the industrial zone of Tuzla, and this was during the winter 3 years ago, and all the workers decided to occupy the factory in order to protect it from not being stripped and not being robbed of assets.
To smo sve znači radili bez ikakvih materijalnih primanja.
So they did that without any sort of material resources or financial resources.
U svakom pregovoru sa vladom, sa ministarstvima uvijek smo potencirali samo pokretanje proizvodnje. Nije bilo govora o ničem drugom.
So in all the negotiations they would have with the state institutions, they would only stress and emphasize the resuming of production.
Sve firme u BiH koje su otišle u stečaj, to je automatski značilo i likvidaciju.
So all companies in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that's the usual practice. As soon as they file for bankruptcy, they get liquidated.
Sad će godinu dana kako je Dita, znači 18. marta prošle godine Dita je otišla u stečaj. Stečajni upravnik je mogao ući u Ditu samo ako se dogovori s nama, i što je uradio, dogovorio se, i jedini uslov bio da pokrene proizvodnju.
So Dita is now on March 18th. It will be a year since Dita is under bankruptcy, and when the bankruptcy manager entered the company, the workers told him that he can enter and he can work if he plays by under their conditions by trying to resume production.
Mi smo pokrenuli proizvodnju. Nismo imali pomoć od države uopšte. Ko nam je pomogao? Građanstvo.
So they resumed production obviously last year, and they didn't have any help from the state. So people who did help them were ordinary citizens, activists,
Radnički univerzitet.
well, the Workers' University.
Moram napomenuti da izuzetno veliku podršku imamo akademske zajednice. Radnici su sami ostali, nema visoko obrazovanih u fabrici, i gdje god zatreba sad neka pamet, znači akademski.
So, and she has to stress that they have a very close relations to the academic community. The factory does not have highly educated workers, so wherever they need some expertise, the workers cannot do themselves. The folks from academia are more than willing to help.
Mnogi se sad pitaju kako smo mogli radnici sami da pokrenu proizvodnju. Naš prvi kapital je bilo staro željezo, stari papir i plastika.
So now the question is how did the workers actually alone manage to resume production? So their first capital was old scrap metal they had, old paper and plastic.
Prije nego što smo izbacili menadžment, kad smo vidjeli da prodaju naše mašine i naše sirovine, mi smo to posakrivali. Tako da smo mogli te mašine osposobiti i krenuti. Naši majstori su radili sami, mi smo sami čistili, nismo imali nikakve druge pomoći.
So once they realized that the old management was stripping the company of its assets, selling off the machinery and the raw materials, the workers decided to hide all these in order to save them. So their repairmen fixed all the machines. The workers cleaned the entire place. They maintained it by themselves without any sort of help.
Moram napomenuti još što je meni izuzetno drago da smo za ovih godinu dana primili 10 visoko obrazovanih mladih ljudi. Moram vam još napomenuti da u Tuzli 80% mladi do 30 godina nema ni jednog dana staža.
She's very happy to announce that they employed 10 highly educated young people in Dita this year, and that Tuzla has an unemployment rate of youth under 35 years of age of 80%.
Što je važno da projekat Dite uspije, jedini smo koji smo vratili se u pogone i koji smo pokrenuli. Dita treba da bude primjer drugim firmama da moraju da se bore, da se izbore i da se pokrenu. Da bude svakom jasno da niko za njih neće ništa učiniti, da moramo sami se izboriti za svoja radna mjesta.
So why she thinks, and why all of us think, I guess, that Dita is very important. Dita needs to be an example to other companies and to show that it is actually possible to get away from the stalemate by doing it ourselves, because obviously Dita did not have any help from above, and they still managed.
Drugo što je važno, što sam ja kritične prijave davala već godinama koje su ležale u ladicama, poslije februarskih protesta i paljevine počelo je ročište kriminalcima za to je prvo, znači za privredni kriminal ročišta i prve optužbe su već krenuli.
So one very important aspect before the February protests, when Minka and her co-workers were actually filing charges against the owners of the factories, these charges were never even looked at in the institutions. And after the protests, for the first time, there were depositions on economic crime.
Još jedno, ako bi sutra opet neko krenuo da krene u pljačku radnika, sad bi se priupitao da li se isplati to uraditi jer zna da će biti procesuiran.
So, and what's important here is if somebody decided to go and steal from the workers and destroy their companies in that way, again, now they at least know that they will be prosecuted.
Mi sada radimo i naša situacija nije završena, mi se moramo i dalje boriti. Mešetari još uvijek kod Dite rade, ali stav radnika i ovih ljudi koji su za mene, da ćemo se i dalje boriti, da nećemo odustati i da moramo ostati istrajni.
So they are working now, and the vultures are still circulating around Dita, trying to pick up their piece of their cake. It's not without its problems, but they are determined to endure through the struggle. So that's that. Thank you.